The Quran says humans are vicegerents of God. So our purpose of lives is to be His vicegerents. But on the earth, humans are not empowered as vicegerents. If they were empowered, the material objects and animals would obey their orders. Humans are under test and development. A human's earthly life is a part of this development. He passes a part of development in after death in Illin or Sijjin. Finally, he will be resurrected on the day of judgment as empowered vicegerent of God and will be sent to his destination forever. Therefore, resurrection is the real birth of a human being, because after that birth, he will never die. In this process, many things are involved. People hardly know about it. But Quran says deliberately, I will discuss the path towards the final destination. There are two final destinations broadly: paradise and hell. In common sense idea, the person going to paradise doesn't need much of development, as we may think. But going to hell is a demanding job. Massive development is required, because the hell is full of fire. So we have to know something about the hell. Where is hell? What is it? Verse 5 of chapter 67. And we have adorned the lowest sky with lamps, and we have made such missiles to drive away the shaitans, and have prepared for them penalty of the blazing fire of hell. So, in the lowest sky, there are stars, means lamps. There are missiles to drive away the shaitan, and there is blazing fire of hell. So, objects of hell are being created in the sky. What is sky? In light of the Quran, sky means web of space. There are 7 sky, means there are 7 spherical webs of space, one inside another, like the peels of onion. We are in the innermost sky. It is called first sky as well. The description of the Quran reveals that when Allah distributed the matter, He created the sky. He called skies and land and made them into 7 skies, as it is said in the Quran. So, skies are full of matter, means the skies are full of galaxies. In every sky there are many galaxies. Scientists calculate that there are 170 billion galaxies in the visible universe. This 7 sky in total makes the universe. The universe as a whole is expanding. Therefore, it seems that the galaxies are the objects of hell. The verse says, and we have adorned the lowest sky with lamps, means stars, and we have made such missiles to drive away the shaitan. and have prepared for them penalty of the blazing fire of hell. So, fire of hell is produced in the innermost sky. The objects of hell are produced in the innermost sky. And innermost sky, or first sky, second sky, third, everywhere sky is full of galaxies. So we may presume that galaxies are the objects of hell. Galaxies are full of fire. In this verse, we come to know about Shaitan as well. Shaitans are jinns. Jinns are anti-creatures. According to the Quran, jinns are created with fire of hole. It is translated as fire of scorching wind. But Sumami means hole. Hole means black hole. Fire of black hole is the deposit of antimatter. So, jinns are created from antimatter. So they are anti-creatures. This universe is full of dark matter. There is 5 times more dark matter than baryonic matter or ordinary matter. Every galaxy may have an anti-galaxy with it. Like our Milky Way galaxy, visible is created with visible matter. We can see. It also have dark galaxy of dark matter. So Milky Way galaxy has got a galaxy of dark matter. The galaxy of dark matter is minimum 5 times. It is 5 to 10 times bigger than the galaxy of ordinary matter. Galaxy of dark matter is 5 to 10 times bigger than the galaxy of ordinary matter. Same gravitational force hold both the galaxies, galaxy and anti-galaxy. So Milky Way galaxy is a 2-in-1 galaxy. It has an anti-galaxy with it, and there are many anti-creatures in the anti-galaxy. Jinns are creatures of dark matter, or antimatter is a kind of dark matter. So dark matter is not visible or sensible to us, but they exist. Therefore, the innermost sky has got stars. It has got anti-creatures, and for them there are missiles to drive them away. Why they are driven away? These anti-creatures, jinns, they are top creatures among the anti-creatures. They are intelligent. They fly through the sky, and they try to get inside or intrude or listen something secret from the exalted assemblies. It is called lofty stations. These are objects in the sky where the angels are harbored, positioned. And there are prophets as well. In the lofty station of the first sky, Prophet Adam is living. So, if a jinn approaches that lofty station, that object, he is driven away by missiles. Prophet went for a night journey called Miras. During Miras, he saw objects of hell in all the skies. Actually, the universe is full of objects of hell. I narrate a hadith. During Miras, I saw in the 7th sky, there was thunder and roaring sound, and a group of people, their bellies were as big as houses. In those there were many snakes and were being seen from outside. I asked to Gabriel which kind of people they were. He said, it is the sin of those who would devour usury. Therefore, he saw object of hell in the 7th sky. If you read the narration of Miras, you will find he saw object of hell in the first sky, in the second sky, in the third sky also he saw object of hell. In the 4th sky he saw objects of hell. In 5th and 6th sky also he saw objects of hell. And in each sky he visited a lofty station where he met some angels and some prophet. He met Moses in the 4th sky. He met Abraham in the 7th sky. So the universe is full of galaxies, and galaxies are objects of hell. So this universe is expanding. With power and skill did we construct the skies, for it is we who cause it to expand. So Allah is expanding the universe. But this universe will not expand forever. Scientists say that chances of contraction is less, but Quran says that universe will contract due to gravitational force or due to any other cause. Universe will contract. As the Quran says, on the day when we will roll up the skies like the rolling up of the scroll for writing. As we originated the first creation, we shall reproduce it. A promise on us, surely we will bring it about. So, the universe will be rolled up. Assume that a dry pond is getting filled up by water coming out from through a hole at the bottom. So water is coming out through a hole and it is filling up the pond. The water will move straight and fill up the pond. But if the water again goes back to the hole, it will start revolving. It will make a whirlpool and move faster and faster, rotate faster and faster, and finally will go into the hole. If you fill up the basin of your bathroom and open the cork, you will see the water is making a whirlpool and getting inside the pipe. So water starts revolving. Similarly, universe is expanding, but when it will be collapsed, it will start revolving. It will be revolving. It will be rolled up, and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Finally, it will be collapsed into the hand of God. Finally, it will be collapsed in the hand of God. That is the time, according to the Quran, when resurrection will take place. That is the time when resurrection will take place, and mankind will be shifted to a specially created land. This land, specially created land of final judgment, will be produced with matter of solar system ejected from the collapsed universe. And resurrected man also will be thrown into the special land. On this special land, final judgment will take place. The day the land will be changed means changed. Other land and the skies. Other land will be other, and sky is super sky. This land is in the super sky, not in the sky of this universe. The universe is collapsed. So this land will be in the super sky. So it is other sky, and it is other land. And they will come forth before Allah, the one, the irresistible. So resurrection will occur, and mankind will be shifted to another land. On that land, final judgment will be carried out, and a part of mankind will be shifted to another universe. That another universe is called Jannat. Why Jannat is to be considered as a separate universe? It is for the following verses. Be quick in the race for forgiveness from your Lord, and for a Jannat whose width is that of the skies and lands, prepared for the righteous. So width of Jannat is equivalent to the width of the universe. The skies and land, Samavat al earth means universe. So width is equal. So one cannot remain inside another. Jannat has to be a different universe altogether. Another verse, race to the forgiveness from your Lord, and the Jannat, the width of which is as the width of the skies and lands. It is said in the Holy Bible also, because only a few will be saved, God has created two universes instead of only one. So there are two universes. One is related to the saving or salvation. One is this Samawat collapsed, another is Jannat or paradise. During Miraj, Prophet visited first sky, second sky, and in this way he visited up to seventh sky. He saw objects of hell throughout in all the skies. Then he moved out, went to Araf and landed on the other side and reached Jannat. So Jannat is a separate universe altogether. One can go to Jannat through a special passage crossing Araf. In between this universe and Jannat, there is a barrier called Barzakh. Barzakh cannot be crossed. It doesn't sustain matter. This lighter is sustained in this space because there are God has invested some of His force field or ruh in the space. Like some of His ruh or force field are holding the electron, some are holding proton. These are all field of existence at quantum level. Then there is gravitational force field that is holding bigger object. So Allah has done istawa, infused some of His force field or ruh into the universe. He has extended His ruh from His nafs, permitting His body in form. His body in form is located in the Arsh. Arsh is beyond this universe. So He is in form, is sitting in a kursi in the Arsh. His nafs spread throughout His body, but some of the ruh or force field of His nafs is extended in the universe. That sustained the objects. He is the sustainer. He is the evolver. With right extension, He sustained this universe, and with the left extension, He sustained the Jannat. These extension, the hands of soul are like extending like wings or hands, but He has a physical hand as well. Physical hand or hand in form is not extended. His hand of souls are extended. The matter is deliberately discussed. I have discussed the matter in the tafsir of Surah Fatiha. You can find it in the YouTube. However, the Barzakh cannot be crossed. So there are two universes, Samawat and Jannat. Good people will be shifted to Jannat, and bad people or sinners will be thrown back with the land, and the land will be thrown back into the collapsed universe. Collapsed universe will again explode through Big Bang 2, and the universe will be created again. As the verse says, on the day when we will roll up the skies, roll up, like the scroll for writing. As we originate the first creation, Big Bang 1, we shall reproduce it. So there will be a Big Bang 2. A promise on us surely will bring about. So there will be Big Bang 2. These galaxies will form again, and in each galaxy there will be a sinner. Or at least in each big galaxy there will be a sinner living as a vicegerent of God. But he will be a forgotten vicegerent of God, and he will be in pain. He will not have any human in that galaxy. He will have many anti-creatures living in that galaxy, or there may be creatures of baronic matter as well, but no, there will not be a second human in his galaxy. He will be sole vicegerent of God in that galaxy, and rule over billions of stars. But he will be a forgotten vicegerent, and he will be in pain. We have to know how resurrection will take place. How resurrection will take place. We already know how much of them the earth takes away. It is verse 4 of chapter 50. We already know how much of them the earth takes away. With us is a record guarding. So there are two things. There is something that earth doesn't take away, and God has a record guarding. Something that earth doesn't take away, and the record guarding. With these two things, a human will be resurrected. What is the thing that earth doesn't take away? Earth doesn't take away DNA molecules. DNA molecules survive in the nature for hundreds and thousands of years. Modern scientists say that one day human science and technology may develop to the extent that humans will be able to create the dinosaurs with their DNA available in their fossilized bones and fossilized eggs. So it is possible to create a human with DNA. God says, now we are able to put together in perfect order the very tip of his finger, So when I will be resurrected, with my tip of the finger intact. With tip of the finger intact. If I am to create, if my tip of the finger should remain same, then we have to be created with our DNAs. If I am created with my DNA, earthly DNA, then my tip of the finger will remain same. Allah can do anything, but He is saying it so to indicate that a human will be created with the same DNA he has on the earth. What is DNA? So I discuss a little about DNA. Many knows, but there may be some people who have do not got enough idea about DNA. So I discuss what the science say about DNA and what the Quran says about the DNA.
Let's examine what DNA is and how it works to better understand how information is used in the cell. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, is a long polymer of nucleotides, each nucleotide being a deoxyribose sugar molecule, one phosphate group, and one base. Nucleotides are joined together to form the DNA backbone. A second DNA strand then joins the first to form a double helix. You may recognize the code letters A, C, G, and T, which are the 4 bases used in DNA. These bases are adenine, A, cytosine, C, guanine, G, and thymine, T. Like the code in Mr. Gates' software, the sequence of the 4 bases encodes genetic instructions used in the development and functioning of all known living organisms. Once organized, this information is what makes up the gene. And genes, as we all know, contain the recipes for the components of life. Genes hold all the information to build and maintain an organism's cells, and they also pass genetic traits to offspring. Human DNA contains an estimated 20 to 25,000 genes in its approximately 3 billion base pairs. And did you know that if the DNA in an adult human's body were laid out end to end, it would be about 30 billion miles long? That's enough to travel the distance from the Earth to the Sun over 320 times. A gene contains both coding sequences that determine what the gene does and non-coding sequences that determine when the gene is active, as well as thousands of other regulatory functions. Less than 2% of the genome is for coding proteins. The other 98%, which used to be thought of as junk DNA, is now being studied to determine its functionality.
Chemically, the DNA in the cells of my body is the same as that in a fruit fly, an orange, a hippo, an elephant. It's all the same chemically. The uniqueness to all of those species of living things lays in the information content of the DNA. So while the chemistry may be the same, the actual information that's embedded in that chemistry is very, very different.
And as we observe our surroundings, we can see there are many different genomes in existence, creating very unique and incredible organisms. If it seems like your body is constantly working hard, it is. Living organisms continually produce new cells through a process called cell replication throughout their entire lives. And here's how it works. First, we start with our DNA double helix. Helicases are molecular motors that use the chemical energy of ATP to break hydrogen bonds between bases and unwind the DNA double helix into single strands. This process is used for both replication and repair of the strands. If unwound, a single DNA strand would be about 6 feet in length. And yet, it fits into a cell which can't even be seen with the human eye. Remarkably, these strands are kept from tangling as they are separated and duplicated. Next, these strands are copied by enzyme-based computers, creating an exact replica of each original strand. Over 30 different proteins are required for duplication and repackaging of cellular components during cell division. It's from this tiny, masterfully complex cell that life is formed. All living organisms begin with one cell. As cell division takes place, we'd see multicellular organisms take form. When we stop to think about our own body having approximately 100 trillion cells, each group having a unique purpose, such as epidermis, the lungs, heart, skeletal structure, muscles, nervous system, digestive system, reproductive system, immune system, and the brain all working simultaneously to form this magnificent machine we call the human body, we begin to have an appreciation for the complexity, elegance, and beauty of life. And as we look around us at the millions of plant and animal species, it becomes incredibly breathtaking to ponder how much information and organization must take place for all of this life to exist.
We're all derived from a single cell, the zygote. And what marvels me is from this single cell, we get 250 distinct cell types, each of which has a very, very unique program. All of the cells, with a couple of exceptions, have a nucleus and have a genome. And that genome is the same across all the cells. So when we begin to think about the complexity of the genome, I think that's amazingly complex, how we go from a single cell to unique cells that have very specific programs of gene expression that are necessary for that unique cell to function. But we're only beginning to understand the information in our genome that directs those unique programs of gene expression.
Now what the Quran says about DNA? Quran calls DNA noble pair. Why it is noble? Because it can produce more than 200 types of proteins. It can produce thousands type of enzymes. DNA has got body plan gene. It has got Hox gene and switches and can form a body of a living creature. So these are noble pair. In the Quran, the DNA is called noble pair. Noble pair. It is so noble that if the information of a DNA is written in books, the books will be higher than a mountain. DNA double helix is the program of life. It is double helix. It is joined at the middle by weak hydrogen. This is one strand, that is another strand. Two strands are joined in the middle. So it is pair. DNA double helix is a pair. All creatures from amoeba to blue whale, from bacteria to maple tree are created with the DNA double helix. DNA double helix DNA. It's the only thing with which the living creatures can be created. And we scattered through it beasts of all kinds. We send down rain from the sky, all from noble pair. Min kulle jawzin kareem. But this verse is translated as, and we scattered through it beasts of all kinds. We send down rain from the sky and produce on the earth every kind of noble creatures in pairs. Because the translators think that this pair means male-female couple. So they translate in this way. But my translation is word-to-word translation. Min kulle jawzin kareem means all from noble pair. And this is the noble pair. This is another verse. Do they not look at the earth, how many we produced in it, all from noble pair. Min kulle jawzin kareem. So this verse doesn't talk about noble creatures. All creatures from amoeba to blue whale and humans are created with this DNA double helix. They are created with pair, and only pair that can create amoeba to blue whale is DNA double helix. So this verse is indicating this DNA double helix as pair, and this pair are noble pair, jawzin kareem, min kulle jawzin kareem. So this is the pair, DNA double helix. Then another verse, and the earth we have spread it out and set there on mountains standing firm, and grown there in every kind from attractive pair, jawzin kareem, attractive pair. Why it is attractive pair? Because there are two strands joined by weak hydrogen. Weak hydrogen is attractive. Moreover, this DNA double helix releases genes. The genes are like a small strand-like structure. The genes attract correct amino acid in correct sequence and produce the protons. So these are perfect attractive pairs. That has created pairs in all things and has made for you ships and cattle on which you ride. So the ships are made with the pair. Ships are made with the pair. Only pair that can make ship is DNA double helix. Oh, by the way, the ships it is talking about is wooden ship. In old times, ships used to be made from wood, and the plants are also created from the same DNA double helix. The ships are created with trees, and they can move through the oceans. We also ride on the cattle as well. They are made obedient genetically. And it is he who spread out the land and set there on mountains standing firm and rivers. And of all fruits he made in it pairs too. Pairs too is mentioned here because of for double pollination. It is special in case of fruits. Fruits only in case of fruits this pair too is required. In all cases, a sperm fertilizes a ovum and produces a zygote. But in case of fruit, two sperm fertilizes the ovum. Thus, juicy fruits are produced. So it is mentioned as, and of all fruits he made in it pairs too, because Quran had to remain true in all cases. Glory to God who created all things that the earth produces, as well as their own kind, and things of which they have no knowledge from pairs. The noble pair. So, we can say the God will create us with the same DNA we have on the earth, and one will not be able to deny that he is not him. So we will be created with the same DNA, and our fingerprint will also be same. However, if I am created with my same DNA, I will look like Zakaria Kamal. I am Zakaria Kamal, but I will not be Zakaria Kamal because of my memory. If my memory is not given back, I am just a man with the head of a newborn child. I will not have language also. I will not be able to speak. And without my memory, I am not Zakaria. So, memory is also preserved. This is said in another verse. How memory is preserved? It is said in this verse also. We already know how much the earth takes away. Earth doesn't take away DNA molecules. It survives in the nature for hundreds of thousands of years. With us is a record guarding. So God has a record guarding. This record guarding is the place where our memories are preserved. How the memories are preserved? It is said in verse 60 of chapter 6. It is He who takes your ruh by night and has knowledge of all that you have done by day. Have knowledge of all that you have done by day. That means He takes our information, all information that has accumulated throughout the day, sleep to sleep. By day does He raise you up again, that a term appointed be fulfilled. In the end, unto Him will be your return. Then He will show you the truth of all that you did. So, our own eyes, ears, brain is working as CCTV. If your ruh is taken out at night and an angel come with a divine pen drive and take out all information from the head and deposit it in the Loh Mahfuz, where everything is preserved, disk saving, then my all information of the day is gone. What I have seen, what I have heard, what I have thought, everything is gone, and what I have did. So in this way, my memory is being preserved. However, God will not use this memory as for judgment. For judgment, the writings of two angels, Keraman Katibin, will be used. These angels will work as witness also. This information is getting, Allah is taking this information to reprogram our brain with memories. That is what it is said in the brain, in the verse. Verse 4 of chapter 50. We already know how much of them the earth takes away. With us is a record guarding. So we will be created with DNA and our memory will be returned directly into our brains. So we are created again. A human will feel like that he just had a long sleep, and after the sleep he is standing on the day of on the land of judgment. However, this resurrection is not a matter of DNA and memory data only, record guarding only. These two things, DNA and record guarding is not the only thing that will resurrect a human. His soul is very important, will play a very important role. Soul of a human will play a very important role. What is soul? What is soul? People say that soul is not discovered yet. Nobody could know what the soul is. But actually we know the soul. I have tried to explain it in my tafsir. Here I will describe in short. What is soul? I will use the PowerPoint for describing the soul. Soul. Soul and force field are same thing. In the books of religion, force fields are called soul. For example, we can take the example of magnetic field. What Quran talk about soul? Quran says, they ask thee concerning the ruh, means soul. Say, the ruh is command of my Lord. Of knowledge it is only a little that is communicated to you. So the ruh or soul is command of my Lord. The force field works like a command. How? This is Earth. Earth has a huge magnetic field. This magnetic field is commanding the solar wind. Solar wind is emanating from the sun, and the Earth's magnetic field is commanding solar wind not to enter into the Earth. It is always saying to solar wind, do not enter, do not enter, do not enter. It means it is commanding the Earth's magnetic field is commanding solar wind, do not enter. Thus is protecting the living creatures. This magnetic field is protecting the living creature by working as command on the solar wind. Then what Hadith say about soul? Prophet said the souls are like conscripted soldiers. Those whom they recognize, they get along with, and those whom they do not recognize, they will not get along with. If a few soldiers are sitting in a place, if a few soldiers are sitting in a place, if you approach them, they will say, do not come, go away, go away. If you are unknown, a group of soldiers does not allow unknown person to come near them. But if they know you, they will call you and start gossiping with you. So the soul is like repulsive or attractive force. This verse means soul is repulsive or attractive force. Here you can see this magnetic field is sustaining the current, electrons, and driving the electrons towards a direction. It is driving the electrons, thus electric current is produced. So this magnetic field knows electron, and it is driving the electrons and producing the electric current. So it is working as a command as well as it is driving as a force, driving the electric electrons. Atoms are basic building blocks of the universe. Universe is created with atoms. When the atoms were created, the universe was created. So this is an atom. There is a strong nuclear force field. It is holding repulsive proton in the nucleus. So the strong nuclear force field is working as a command on the protons that remain in the nucleus, though you are repulsive to each other. So it is working as a command. And this strong nuclear force field knows the protons. So it is holding the protons. But these nuclear force field, strong nuclear force field, do not know the electrons. So it is not disturbing the electrons. It is not pulling the electron in the nucleus. Nucleus is away. So strong nuclear force field knows the proton and commanding them to remain in the nucleus, and it does not know the electrons. Then there is electromagnetic force field. This magnetic force field holding the electron because it knows the electrons. It does not. This magnetic force field does not know protons, so it does not affect the protons. Then there is weak nuclear force field. It causes some radiation and makes the balance. Therefore, each of this force field is the soul, and these are called ruh. It is this weak nuclear force field is a ruh. Strong nuclear force field is a ruh, and electromagnetic force field also is a ruh or soul, simple soul. Ruh means simple soul. Therefore, a simple soul or ruh can be defined as a designed force field that works as a command to the subatomic particle or any particle. Therefore, a simple soul ruh can be defined as a designed force field that works as a command to the subatomic particles or particles. So we have understood what is ruh. Now there is, according to the Quran, there is another kind of soul. Then what is subatomic particles? These subatomic particles such as electron, proton, neutrons too are different kinds of souls or ruhs, because they remain in an atom as particle, as subatomic particle. In freedom, they are force field, viewed as waves in the universal field. An electron is a subatomic particle in the atom, but when it gets released, it becomes a wave, because it is a kind of soul or ruh, and it is conscious as well. This can be proved by this experiment, double slit experiment. It shows that the electrons moves as waves, but it is conscious. If it is observed, it moves like electrons as subatomic particle. So it understands that it is being observed. So these are conscious waves. These are actually souls, which we call ruh, composite soul. Another kind of soul is called composite soul. A composite soul is called nafs. There are two kinds of soul, ruh and nafs. Nafs is a composite soul. For example, this is an atom. In the atom there are three force fields: electromagnetic force field, strong nuclear force field, and weak nuclear force field. These three force fields in combination makes the composite soul of the atom. These three, ruh, force field or ruh, force field, simple soul or ruh, makes the composite soul of the atom. This composite soul is called nafs. It is the nafs. So nafs of the atom holds the subatomic particles and produces the atom. The nafs of an atom holds the subatomic particle and produces the atom. So a nafs is a combination of different kinds of force field or simple soul or ruh. Therefore, a nafs is a combination of ruh or force field or simple soul designed to sustain a system. Nafs sustains system. Now we have understood what is nafs, what is ruh. This is the picture of guard force, theory of grand unified forces of grand unified theory, guard force. Scientists have so far discovered four kinds of force field. Those are strong nuclear force field, then electromagnetic force field, and weak nuclear force field. These three force field makes the atom. They have discovered another force field, that is gravity. So these four force fields are so far discovered. These are ruhs. Now these ruh originated from a unified soul. These three force field originated from a unified soul or composite soul. This unified soul is called guard force. This unified soul is called guard force. And in the Quran, it is called nafsin wahidatin. Nafsin, soul, wahidatin, single. Single means unified soul. So this one, Quran is telling it is unified soul, and science is telling it is guard force. It means these two things, guard force and nafsin wahidatin, are same. Therefore it is confirmed the soul is called force field in the book of religion. Now I have put a plus here. Why I have put a plus? Because scientists have discovered three force field only. There may be many unknown force fields which are not yet discovered. For example, magnetic force pull ferromagnetic materials, but it does not pull plastic, does not pull wood, silver, many other things. It only pulls iron, that means ferromagnetic materials. But if iron would not pull ferromagnetic materials as well, then it would be difficult to understand the existence of magnetic force. Many would not believe that there is something force. So therefore, There may be many force field that do not interact with the matter or in the way scientists expect and arrange detection. So there is many unknown force field. So I have written a plus. If someone says 1000 bacteria is discovered, we should understand there are 10,000 that are not yet discovered. If someone says 5,000 insects are discovered, there should be 50,000 insects that are not yet discovered. But it is more difficult to discover. So there may be many unknown force field. So I have written gut force plus. Why I have predicted that there should be unknown force field? Because animals also have nopses. An animal has got nops. A human has got nops. Nops of human and element are created with known and oblique or unknown force field. Probably it is created, the nopses or souls of animals are created with unknown force field. Those are force field but unknown, not yet discovered. So unknown force field must be there. And with the unknown force field, the nopses of living creatures are created. Therefore, force fields are called soul in the books of religion. A simple soul force field is called ruh. A composite soul, unified forces is called nops. Now this force, human has got nops, and it is very important for resurrection. What a nops? Each human has two souls. One is nops. Nops is spreading throughout his body. Nops is spread throughout the body of a human. But nops has some vital points. The center of the nops is below the navel, and it has got vital point in the chest. There is 1, 2, 3, and there is vital point here. There is vital point here. These vital points are called Latifa or chakra. Nops is one, but it has got vital points. And the human nops is produced with unknown force field mainly. There may be known force field as well. Now, there are another force, special ruh, given to human. Human are given a special ruh. This ruh is not from gut force plus, or it is not from nafsin wahidatin. This is a special ruh given by God directly. Given by God directly. When Adam was created, he was alive because he had nafs, but he was not becoming conscious. So Allah breathed a special ruh into his body, and Adam became conscious and tried to get up. You see, a child is born alive, but he is unconscious. As soon, like Adam, as soon as Allah gives breathe ruh into him, he starts crying because he has become conscious. But he cannot think, because for thinking he requires language, which is not there in his brain. Gradually he learns to talk and start thinking. This ruh, this special ruh given by God, is the platform of our mind. It gets attached in our chest. So this ruh, in combination with the muscle of the chest, nervous system and brain, produce the mind. Mind is virtual extension of brain, is called mind. Produced by brain, nervous system and the muscle of the chest. It produces a virtual extension of brain which we call mind. Ruh, we think with ruh. When a man sleeps, his ruh is taken out. So his thinking gets stopped. And he sleeps. But other elements also can sleep, but their sleep is not like human sleep. A man sleep like a dead man. You can steal everything from his house when he is sleeping. But you cannot enter a lion's cave when it is sleeping. A horse sleeps 2 hours in 24 hours day. Only 2 hours it sleep, standing. So their sleep is different. Human sleep is deep rest. And it is done by ruh. Allah takes out the ruh. So mind is absent and a human sleeps. Once sleeping or rest is complete, Allah gives back the ruh and mind is again installed. You start thinking, so he becomes conscious. This ruh makes us conscious. It is the platform of mind. Once a man starts thinking, whether he is opening his eyes or closing doesn't matter. He starts thinking means he has got up from the sleep. This ruh feels joy and sorrow as well. Joy and sorrow. These two are ruh related emotions, so senses or emotions. Joy and sorrow. Other animals do not have ruh, so they do not feel joy or they do not become sorrow. If there are 10 goats in a farm, and if the farmer slaughter one goat in front of other goats and eat, the other goats are not sorry. They are not sorry. Or if farmer gives lot of food, they are not happy. Because these two senses, sorrow and joy, is ruh related sense. A human cry, a human laugh. So these are ruh related senses. When we are happy, our chest is expand. When we are sorry, our chest crunch. Because ruh anchor in the chest. However, there are nafs related senses as well. Our nafs is responsible for survival and reproduction. So it is the center of greed and sexual drive. Center of greed and sexual drive. And as an emotion of, as example, as an emotion of survival, we can cite the example of fear. Fear is a prime emotion of survival. When we are scared, when we are extremely afraid, our lower part of our backbone may start paining. Our stomach may start shivering. Our legs shiver because center of the nerves is below the navel. So its near parts like legs shiver, belly shivers. And somebody may urinate also because of extreme fear. So because these are nerves related sense. Nerves feel comfort. Nerves get enjoyment in eating, good sleeping, comfortable living. It cares for survival. If it feels safe, if it has got lot of food, so and so forth. Because survival and reproduction it feel love, reproduction are ruh related, nerves related. Survival and reproduction nerves related senses. However, this nerves has got vital role, play vital nerves, not ruh. Nerves play vital role in resurrection. How? A human develops in the mother's womb. As soon as a zygote is formed or embryo is formed, in initial days, his nerves is given in the mother's womb. When he is like a small entity, at that time, nerves is also like a small round entity. Because the nerves is given, his body is like a round shaped body, like embryonic body. Nerves is also looks like a embryonic entity. Now, as the human grows, nerves also grows. Gradually, human grows hands, primers, legs, heads, and nerves also start growing, hands, legs, heads. In this way, the human takes the shape of a human. Nerves also takes the shape of a human. So nerves grows with human. Here one thing is to be remembered. In the mother's womb, Allah shapes a human. If one take out a zygote from a woman's womb and put it into a test tube, most advanced test tube, exactly like mother's womb, even then this zygote does not make human body. It does not make human body. It reproduce and make a lump of flesh. In the test tube, it make a lump of flesh. Then why it make a human body in mother's womb? There is nothing special in the mother's womb. It is a bag and water. It is nothing special in the mother's womb. How human body is formed in the mother's womb, but it is not formed in the test tube? Because human body is shaped by God, not by DNA only. DNA reproduces the cells, but body is shaped by God, and God has better scope to work inside human body. God doesn't have good scope to work inside test tube, but human body is like the door of, like a human body is like a door of God. So he can work comfortably in a human body, and he shapes up a human in the mother's womb. It is said in the verse 6 of chapter 3. He it is who shapes you in the wombs of, I read again, He it is who shapes you in the wombs as He pleases. So Allah shapes us in the wombs as He pleases. There is no God but He, the exalted in might, the wise. So therefore, Allah shape us in the mother's womb. Initially, Allah shape up, body gets formed, and nerves also gets formed. Nerves take the shape of a human body. And I have said nerves is a combination of known and unknown force fields. So it get imprinted with all information of the development. The nerves get imprinted with all information of the development, and this information cannot be destroyed. Nerves become a program of creation. Nerves become a program of creation. Then the man takes birth, he becomes 6 feet long, nerves also become 6 feet long, and with earthly life he becomes more tough. Then the nerves is taken away by the angels. He put it in the Ilin or Sijin. Therefore, nerves is developed. It is said in verse 61 of chapter 6. No, sorry. Now, on the earthly life, nerves may be corrupted. How? It is said in verse 7 of chapter 91. By the nerves and the proportion and order given to it, and its enlightenment as to its wrong and its wrong. Truly he succeeds that purifies it, and he fails to that corrupts it. So nerves can be corrupted. Nerves can be deformed. How a nerves can be deformed? Normally Allah guards a Muslim, but it is said in the verse, He is the irresistible from above over His worshippers, and He sets guardians, angels over you. So Allah guards the nafs of a Muslim. But if a man becomes an idolater and he start worshipping the idols, then the guard angels do not protect the man. What happens? The anti-creature, jinns, get inside his nafs, and his nafs get deformed. If a nafs develop in a human body, it will take the form of a human body. It will be a program of recreation of a human body. And if it develops into a devil human body, it gets programmed to resurrect a devil human. Thus, nerves get deformed. On the day of resurrection, a human will be created with DNA, but at the same time, it will be helped by nerves. Nerves will help the development of the body. At that time, Allah will not help. Allah help in the mother's womb. At the time of resurrection, the nerves will help the body to form. If the nerves developed in a human body, it will form a human body, a bit of good human body, and he will go to paradise. But if it was holding a human body and jinn body together, it develops as a devil. It develops to resurrect a devil human body, and so it will resurrect a devil-like human. The man will be 1,000 miles long or tall. To sit, he will need a space from Makkah to Medina. He will be very tough and strong, because he will be sent to the hell. Therefore, nerves play a vital role in resurrection. On the earth, how genes can enter into a human? Genes can enter into a human under the protection of our nerves. Gene cannot enter directly, because our body is created with baryonic matter and genes are created with antimatter. So it enters under the protection of nerves. Like a Milky Way galaxy, same gravitational force is holding the galaxy of baryonic matter and galaxy of antimatter together. In the same way, a devil human man have got a body of baryonic matter and a body of antimatter, and nerves is getting deformed. This man deformed, and it is becoming a program of resurrecting a devil human man, devil human body. On the day of resurrection, it will create a devil human body, and the man will be 1,000 miles long, and he will be sent to hell. So it is very important to believe on one God. One God. If someone believes on one God, his nafs is protected by God, by guard angels. It is said in the verse, even if the wrongdoers had all they are on this earth, and as much as more would they offer for ransom for the pain of the penalty on the day of judgment, but something will confront them from God, which they never have counted upon, and will become apparent to them, Shaitan. So Shaitan will be apparent to them. His face will be, they cannot be recognized. They will be recognized by their marks only, and will surround them what they used to mock. Then another verse, but those who have earned the Shaitan will have the reward like the Shaitan. Verse 27 of Surah 10. Then another verse, one day we will gather them all together, and O ye assembly of jinn, certainly you have many mankind. Their friends among men will say, our Lord, some of us were enjoyed by others, but we have reached our terms, which you did appoint us. The fire will be, God will say, the fire will be a dwelling place. So some are enjoyed by others. Means on the earth, why humans are possessed by Shaitans? Because human life is very good. Life of Shaitan is very tough. They do not have different kind of foods and different way of enjoyment. And human have many kind of food, houses, air conditions, cars, and human body is an instrument of enjoyment. So he gets inside human body, and then as soon as he gets inside a human body, he has a blue sky, green field, cars, houses, wife, children. Allah says, go Shaitan genes, be shareholder of their children. So when he live with his wife, Shaitan also live. So they are interested to possess a human. This is the development of a human, and somebody will be rescued from the hell later. But one has to understand how his nafs is developing, how his memory is developing, and he should take care that his nafs do not get corrupted. And to save the nafs, the only way to believe in one God. Then God will invest angels to protect him. That's why. That's all. If you have got any doubt, please visit my website, and you get scientific tafsir of the Quran. I show you the tafsir. This is the web page. This is my web page. You go to Google. This is Google, and you write scientific tafsir. This is scientific tafsir. This is scientific tafsir. Yes, I have written scientific tafsir. Now it comes. Scientific tafsir of the Quran. This is scientific tafsir of the Quran. Tafsir of Zakaria Kamal. Now go into my tafsir, and you get my web page. To open part 1, click here. Part 2, click here. Part 3, click here. Each part is around 800 to 900 pages. So you get it as free PDF. And if there is any doubt, please go to my website and read my tafsir. This is the part 1. In this way, you have got another. That's all. Allah Hafiz.